The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
Topping up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blasted feels so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby missing shadows crawl? People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, there's the route down known. Dolly Vision headlines, King of Peace. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light. Topping up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blasted feels so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby missing shadows crawl? People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, there's the route down known. Dolly Vision headlines, King of Peace. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light.
What up, my beautiful people? It is good to see y'all on this wonderful Sunday night. Okay, we got some things to talk about tonight. Stephan Sterns, stuff in the Jack and Lily case, and more. Okay, more. But first, I'm going to need you to leave your DNA on the like button just in case, okay, you go missing in the hills of Tennessee or in the backwoods of Nova Scotia. Dolly's going to come track you down like a bloodhound. But I got to have your DNA on file. We are 125 people away from hitting 71,000. So if you're super cool, share this out on your Facebook. And if you haven't yet, sub up, ring the bell for notifications, and feel free to share my ugly face anywhere and everywhere. Okay? So, let me give my warnings before we get going. Dolly Vision's for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories mixed with a little bit of comedy, a whole lot of chaos. So don't take nothing here as fact, just my opinion. People completely satire. Callers' opinions, theirs alone, not reflect on the Dolly. Everyone's innocent and proven guilty. And the biggest one of them all, don't try to be Dolly at home. It's dangerous, okay? I tried to get through that really quick for you guys, all right? I'm getting fast, like the Micro Man. Anybody remember the Micro Man? He could say like 1,000 words a minute. Okay, so I want to start this with Stephan Sterns, okay? Because, guys, you know I've been raising money to go down and to cover the Maddie Soto, Stephan Sterns case. Stephan Sterns looks like he is going to take a plea deal, okay? He has a plea deal hearing tomorrow morning. Thank you, 49ers girl. Hey, good to see you. So listen, so anybody that donated to me to cover the Stephan Sterns case live in Florida, I will give a refund to if you want your money back. Okay. And if you do, I want you to send me a message at jimmyjams757@gmail.com. Okay. And if not, the money will just stay in the travel fund because I'm still taking a trip this week, just not to cover Stephan Sterns now because he looks like he's going to take a plea deal. So I will be here with you tomorrow morning to cover what goes down in that plea deal. So this week, before I was going to Florida, I was going to Carolina first and then to Florida. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to broadcast GalaxyCon with you guys for all my comic book nerds and, you know, old movie buffs and horror movies. And it's a little bit of everything. But I'm going to be at GalaxyCon Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So we will be broadcasting that. It sucks that Stephan Sterns is going to take this deal tomorrow. Leanne, thank you so much. All right. I was looking forward to seeing his face, okay, when he broke down into tears for himself when he got life in prison. Now, we already know what the deal is. The deal is this: for him to take life in prison without the possibility of parole, okay? He is another person that is going to avoid the death penalty. No damn justice in this world. Okay, no justice. This is what we get, right? And I was so looking forward to seeing his face when they gave him the death penalty and when they gave him life in prison. Well, he was going to get life for the CP charges because they were trying him for 2 different cases. Hold on, my producer just walked in.
No, you were talking about it, and I wanted to chime in because the weirdness of this plea deal case is that they're doing both of the cases.
Yeah.
Is he going to plead guilty to everything?
Everything.
That's crazy.
He's pleading guilty to everything. He's taking the plea deal to take life in prison without the possibility of parole. So here's the thing. When they were going to try him, they were going to try him in 2 different trials because it happened at 2 different times, right? He was doing the big M tour first, and then he unalived her second. So they were charging them separately because one could affect the other.
Right.
So now that he's willing to take the plea deal, they're charging him with both simultaneously, and he's pleading out to both of them. He's pleading guilty to life in prison without the possibility of parole. They're taking the death penalty off the table.
From what I heard, he's the one that requested it. So what happened to his badass, like on the phone with his parents talking about, I'd rather be on the death penalty?
Well, it's all fun and games, right? Until it's your time. Yeah, until you're actually getting the death penalty. You know, like I was talking to people the other day, sometimes it's not your lawyer's job to get you off.
Yeah.
It's their job to get you the less punishment as possible. And even OJ's attorneys say that. It's like sometimes when people hire an attorney, there's no getting you out of it, but there may be getting you away with a little bit less of a punishment. Now,
I thought Florida was hardcore, like they wouldn't give him one.
Now that's what I'm saying. Like my whole thing is, why strike a deal with them? Look, and then they made a deal with Jen, and they didn't even need Jen Soto. Okay, didn't even need her, and they gave this devil a deal. Okay, and a lot of people are talking about once he went to court, they would charge Jen. That's not going to happen. Like some of these experts ain't experts. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And like I said, for anybody that donated to me, if you want the money just to stay there in the travel fund and me still use it, that's fine, perfectly fine. If you are like, Dolly, I was giving you that money hoping you would cover this case, like I said, just shoot me an email. I don't have a problem with giving anybody that donated back to the Give, Send, Go their money back if you want it back, okay? So just remember that, because I don't want people to think I took money under any type of false pretenses. I had every plan of being there and covering the whole week because it was supposed to be 4 days, right? 4 days?
Yes.
So I always sending blessings your way. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you. So what a coward. And listen, this is my problem with this. Both of these people get away with their life. Okay. And I know Stephan Sterns saying he's scared to be in jail, and there's inmates posting videos that they're trying to get them from the jail. Like everybody, they must have pulled the camera out their butt to shoot the video, right?
That's what I wanted to know. Where did that video even come from?
That video, man, came from somebody that had a phone in their butt. I mean, can you imagine that? Like you got to pull the phone out your butt to film a threatening video. Anybody see that video of the guy threatening Stephan Sterns? But here's the thing about this. these people like this that commit these types of crimes, they protect them in jail because say something happens to Stephan Sterns, then Stephan Sterns' family can turn around and sue the prison. So they're going to put him somewhere with other offenders that have similar charges to him. You know, they could put him in the kitty care. You know what I'm saying? Where all the people in there are in the kitties and like kitty cats, right? I don't want to say nothing bad because YouTube's funny about what words you use here. But, you know, other people that are into 12, 13-year-olds, he'll be locked up with those people so that they don't hurt each other, right? So if you put him in any other cell with any other human being, he's in danger. He'd be in major danger. And, you know, the embarrassment that this was about to be for his family, his mom and dad, because you know his dad is a former police officer, right? So you got a former police officer, all his friends are still police officers, and they got to look and see exactly what you did and hear evidence that they have against you of how many times you essayed this small child. Sarah says, hopefully many will say keep it. Your next trip. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. We're going to try our best, maybe.
Yes, I did. Phone was covered in poo.
Yeah, so the man had a man purse the phone, and, you know, it's just crazy. And like I said, I'm still going to be taking a trip this week. We're going to Carolina.
You're going to Carolina.
Well, I'm going to Carolina to cover GalaxyCon for you guys since I won't be doing. I was just going to do GalaxyCon, then just cover Stephan Sterns. But now I guess I'll bring you guys GalaxyCon live. And it's a lot of cosplay stuff, like people dressed up from different movies and video games.
90210 is going to be there.
90210 is going to be there. Art the Clown's going to be there. The dude from Bucky Lassiter, he's going to be there. Malibu, shrink, make me blink, go to the sink and vomit, clean it up with Comet. Earth is my planet. Chapstick. Yeah, he's going to be there. What's his name? I can't think.
Kennedy.
Jamie Kennedy. Okay, so we might get a chance to, you know, see some celebrities and see a bunch of crazy people dressed up. I'm dressing up, but I ain't going to tell y'all what I'm dressing up as yet. But I'm in the horror movie, so I'll give you a hint. It's something
Shrink
to do with horror movies. Okay. And I got my costume. It's pretty cool that I'm going to wear while I'm there. Well, not the whole time I'm there, because I'm going to do it one day. I'm going to dress up. I'm going to do the cosplay stuff for one day to where I wear the full get up. And but I will tell you, it's from a horror movie. Well, it ain't even a movie. Well, I can't.
You're just going to tell it. You can't even keep a simple secret of your outfit.
All I'll say is it's horror. Okay, related.
Flappy.
I don't think there was a. Yeah, there was a movie. There was a movie. The person had a movie. But it's just hard. Y'all have to tune in to find out what Dolly's going to dress as. Okay, so and that'll be Friday. Friday, you'll be able to see what costume that I wear. And last time we went, PJ went with me to GalaxyCon in Richmond, right? And there was people dressed up as all kinds of stuff. There was a lot of furries. There was a lot of furries there. There were Darth Vader, Batman, a lot of scary stuff. I mean, a lot of stuff from Mortal Kombat. I seen, what else did I see? I got to meet Mick Foley there. He also did a plug for the channel for me.
You never did anything.
I never used it yet. Maybe that'll be on the next intro instead of Nancy Grace. It'll be Mick Foley. And then we got a plug from Damon Darlin, okay, the comedian. So
you didn't use that either, and that was a good one, bub.
Yeah, I'm going to use it. I'm going to revamp the intro, and when I revamp the intro, I'm going to throw all the new stuff in there. You hope it's Chucky? Okay.
That would be a good one.
Well, I can tell you.
It's not Chucky.
It couldn't be anybody tall because I'm not tall.
Chucky's a doll.
I know. So it has to be something small, right? It can't be something super big. I can't be Jason. I can't be Michael Myers. They're 6'4", 300 pounds. It wouldn't make a lot of sense from a little bit. I'd be like a stubby Jason. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't even make sense. I wouldn't scare people. So I got to be something that is dolly size related. Okay. So, and a lot of y'all have seen my mask collection. I have a whole ton of masks I got.
You just can't help yourself.
I ain't telling them. I never even posted a picture of it. So it's top secret. It is totally top secret. The evil cowboy. Now, I think y'all get a trip out of it. And I think as soon as you see it, everybody over the age of 40 or 35, if you over 35, you will completely know who I am dressed as. Okay. If you 35 and up, dress as an Ewok. Close. Close. Okay. You will know who it is. You will know who it is instantly. Okay. You'll instantly know who I'm dressed as. And all I'm going to say it's horror related. I ain't going to give y'all nothing else. I'll let your mind use your imagination on that. Pennywise is kind of big too. I don't think so. So Stephan Sterns, a big old puss. He's scared to face the gauntlet. You know, I guess he don't want the world hearing what he did. All right. Because listen, people in jail, in prison, they have TVs. They got cable TV. They'll be able to hear what he did too. Or what he allegedly, you know, what they're saying he did. Now they won't. So now the people in jail won't know all his horrible Yoda. Okay, little Yoda. That's a good one. That's a good one. But I don't think Yoda's horror movie. You ever seen Yoda in a horror movie? So these people that he'll be locked up with, they won't know, you know, they'll know he's in there for these child P charges, but they may not know the circumstances of a gremlin would be good. That's a good one. Like Spike would have been good. Okay. I can't tell y'all. Y'all all guessing. Jigsaw, I could, you know, Jigsaw's small. You know, I just tell you its size and its horror. That's it. It ain't very big because I'm not a very big guy. So I had to pick something that was size related to me, about the same size. Okay. So if not, I would have went as like, you know, Jason, Freddy, or Michael Myers, or something, you know, Art the Clown if I was skinny and tall. But I ain't. Leatherface, but Leatherface is 6'4", 380 pounds. So I don't think I could pull that off, you know. So like I was saying, I don't want to get too squirreled off track. But, you know, like I said, a lot of these people won't know what Stephan Sterns did. So he's in less danger this way because that stuff will spread through the jail and the prison system really, really quick. All right. And the quicker it spreads, you know, like I said, they'll house him somewhere, but there's still chances that people could get to him. Somebody may do something to get into special housing to attack him, or he may end up in the infirmary and then somebody in the infirmary attack him. You know, there's other ways that you may be in contact with other prisoners in the jail. But with his story being so high profile, they're going to keep him safe to people basically forget what he's there for. But like I said, I've been locked up in jail. And when I was there, okay, I'm going to share the story with you. This is how important this is. There was a guy that was in the jail when I was there, and he was in Supermax. So he only came out an hour a day. They call it 23-1 when you're locked up. And that's what most of these offenders are on. If you have crimes like this, you're on 23-1. So when you come out the cell that 1 hour, you come out completely by yourself. You're able to make a phone call, take a shower, and there's a guard with you. And then they put you back in your cell, right? He said, monkey boy, tumbleweed, tumble corpse, right? So anyway, now you done made me forget what I was going to say there. So you made me forget. So when I got locked up and I was in just a city jail, never been to prison, nothing like that. I ain't that bad of a criminal. But there was a guy in there. I still remember his name, and I'm not going to dox his name, but he was in there for messing with a 4-year-old child. Okay. So in jail, they got this thing they call the green light. The green light means anybody in the jail see you, they are to get you. Okay. You've been green lighted. That just means everybody wants you got. And there ain't very many people that had the complete green light in jail, right? Because usually people got friends in jail. There's gang people in jail. There's, where's the baby, right? People like that. But in jail, you be screaming, where's the deputy when these people try to get you, right? Where's the deputy? So this dude was green lighted. And the way it goes around the jail is like fire. Like, it's just like one inmate tells another inmate, that inmate tells 10 more inmates. And the next thing you know, everybody knows. And even if you don't tell people what you're in there for, they'll call their outside the jail, right? And then get their girlfriend to look you up online and see what you've been charged with. So there's no way really in jail to hide your charges from inmates. Okay. Some people try to do it like, I ain't telling you nothing. Right. But a lot of people will be like, look, we want to see your papers when you come into a pod or a cell, because they don't want certain criminals housed with them. Right. They don't want people that mess with kids or anything like that. Because most people, even though they did something bad to end up in jail, they miss their kids. Just because you're a criminal don't mean you're a bad, well, you ain't a great parent or you wouldn't be a criminal. But some people be robbing and stealing to feed their kids, right? Or think it's acceptable to do these things when they're trying to feed their families, right? So, and there a lot of people in there miss their kids, and then you in there for hurting a kid, oh, you in big, big trouble. Like, you do not want to be locked up with these types of charges, because basically what it does is you have no freedom, because everybody else is walking around, playing chess and cards and watching TV and got a little bit of room to move around, and you're stuck in a box for 23-1, right? And nobody can be around you. You have nobody to talk to. You just got you and your demons. And a lot of these people, if they're committing crimes like this, they have plenty of demons. Okay. So, but so many people are like, well, prison justice. Listen, I've seen people do some pretty bad things in jail. All right. Now, I worked in the kitchen in jail because I was trustee. I was just in there for some crazy shit at a bar, fight I got into at a bar. So they put me on trustee because my charges wasn't even, they were misdemeanor charges. So I worked in the kitchen. Now there's a guy that had messed with this 4-year-old. There's no way to get to him. Okay. Nobody could get to him. And he would have been fine if he would have just ate regular food like anybody else in the jail. You would have had no way of knowing what food was his. Okay. But if you have any type of food allergy, or you get some type of special tray, like you're Muslim or something like that, then there's a list for they can make you a special tray and it go to you. Well, this guy that had did this to this kid just happened to have a special tray. Okay. Now, when I was in the kitchen, I would never do something like this because I'm not judge, jury, executioner, me, myself. Right. But I ain't going to say I didn't turn a blind eye to some things. Right. Like, because, this dude has done these things and people are doing things to his meals. Right. And I'm talking nasty. I'm talking super. And I'm just like, I don't see it. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I ain't see you do it. I'm minding my own business. I worked as a baker in the jail. So I made cookies and jail bread, right? That's what I did in the jail, right? So, but the people that handled the special trays, they knew about this guy and they were doing things to his food. It's horrible. So see, even though they can't get you, right, they still have a way of getting you. So and then of course, you know, they would very little, put little tiny amounts of food on his, even when they didn't mess with his food, they would only put little tiny amounts of food on his tray. They were literally, inmates were trying to starve the dude to death, right? First, they were like, hey, we're gonna get him one way or another. Like, he would have like quarter size amounts of food on his tray, where a regular tray would be enough not to fill you up, but enough just to barely not make you hungry, right? And he was getting nothing. I'm sure this dude must have lost. He must have been like bone sitting in the cell, because I never got to see him, right? Because there's no way to see him. He's super maxed, and he only came out for an hour at a time. He was like a unicorn in the jail.
I didn't know you made cookies like T-Rev.
Does he make cookies?
He's an Eber elf.
Oh, he's a Keebler elf. Yeah, I made cookies, pancakes, the Jesus bread. I made the rolls. But it was something to get me out of the cell. You know what I'm saying? And make time go by fast. So, and you don't have to pay rent if you work for the jail. That's crazy, right? Is you got to pay rent in jail, but you do, right? Dolly, did they spit their food there? No, I mean, listen, I can be honest. Out of every inmate in the jail, nobody messed with people's food. None. I've never seen anybody but this one guy, right? And that's because he was in there for crimes against a 4-year-old, and he had been green lighted. That means anybody in the jail could do anything they wanted to him, no repercussions, because there's nobody that's going to defend him, right? He's on his own out of the whole jail, right? You flying solo, and that's a place you don't want to be, right? But see, when you get to prison, they're going to put him in cells with other people just like Stephan Sterns, and they won't want to hurt him because they're just as sick and just as twisted as he is, as far as trying to hurt kids. So they're going to protect this man. They've already made a deal with him not to lose his life. Florida, what in the heck are you doing? What are you doing? There's no reason that they should have made a deal with this guy. You know, they say it saves the media circus. It saves the state millions of dollars, not had to bring it to trial. But this is open and shut. Like, so much evidence against him. This dude deserves to be executed. You were like, y'all did nothing for justice for Matty Soto. Putting this man in prison to where he gets TV, commissary, gets to talk to his family. That's not justice for Matty Soto, right? Well, Madeline Soto. It's not justice. The little girl was 13 years old when her life was snuffed out. You know, and I really think, you know, Matty rejected Stephan. That's what I believe, because why would, if he had been doing this to this little girl from the time she was 8 years old, this is disgusting, right? It's even disgusting to talk about it. I just went and seen my daughter. I could, you know what I'd be? I'd be underneath the prison, right? I'd be on death row. I'd be on death row. This dude would have done something like this to my daughter, I'd be on death row. Right? So, and nothing, right? I think she rejected him because she was talking to this little boy. She had like a little crush on a kid her age, and his jealous ass couldn't handle the fact that she wanted to be with a kid her age, like a normal child, and he unalived her. And I also think he believed she was pregnant. And I believe Matty Soto believed she was pregnant. And I also believe Jen Soto believed she was pregnant. That's why they had the multiple pregnancy test. That's why Matty was sending him message about the parental coins that you flip to see, like, if the father's going to change the diaper, if the mother's going to change the diaper. Why would they be discussing that if there was no thought of she may be pregnant? I believe she was late on her period. That's it, late. I don't think she was pregnant because he wasn't charged with 2 counts of murder. But some people in Florida say if the baby is not old enough to live outside the womb, then it's not murder, which, I mean, I disagree with that, but I'm talking Florida law. I'm not, I say at conception, that's murder. Okay. But I'm not quite sure if that's actually the case, if she was or not. But I believe they feared that she was, and it was all going to come crumbling down. And the walls were closing in on them like the title tonight. And they reacted and they unalived this child. And I believe Jen Soto is just as guilty as Stephan Sterns, if not more. Now, if you said, okay, we're going to give Stephan Sterns life in prison, Dolly, but we're going to execute Jen Soto, I'll go, okay. I could, that's justice. Okay. I know some people be like, damn, Dolly, but I wouldn't. I'd be like, okay, I can live with that. But no life is going to be lost for taking this beautiful young lady's life. I mean, we don't know what this girl would have done as she grew up. How do we know she wasn't the cure for cancer or AIDS, or, she wasn't going to do something great with her life, right? Because I believe everybody's given that opportunity at birth to do something great, right? And how do we know that wasn't the person that was going to change humanity and her life has been taken from her? Life has no value to some of these people, right? None. And it always scares me because I'm thinking, listen, I think my life is valuable. I think your life is valuable. And if you ever think that I'm too hard on these people and you shouldn't execute people, if somebody did something to you, any one of you guys watching, any 1,000 of you watching right now, I would want them executed just the same as if it was me. Okay. I truly believe that we got to get, because once you do that, you are a monster. I don't think there's room for monsters on this planet. And like I said, I'll pull the switch on you. I don't need no executioner mask. I would sleep just as good that night as I slept last night. It wouldn't affect me none. I wouldn't feel bad about doing it. Like, I just think the boogeyman is real and we need to punish him. Right? So there ain't more people that think this is acceptable. And listen, guys, I don't know about y'all, but I watch the Poacher show, starts with a P, and it has some 4 letters in it, and it's the P Poachers. And anybody watch them on YouTube? I've been telling PJ I want to get up with the dude and do a video, right? Like I want to assist in one of them. And I watch every day these people bust Stephan Sterns. Not Stephan Sterns, but people just as bad as Stephan Sterns every day. Every day. There's multiple channels. There's Skeeter Hansen. Anybody watch Skeeter up here? So they all do these stings where they get online and they act like they're a small child, 14, 15-year-old girl or boy home alone, and then they get people to come. You watch those types of shows, and it's almost like Chris Hansen, pretty much the same thing, right? But these are YouTubers, and they're doing it a little bit crazier, right? Like Skeeter Hansen, he'll act like you want a Corvette, get you out in the car, and then he'll go, oh, by the way, you was texting this 14-year-old girl. So I watch him constantly, like, right? So I watch constantly. I'm watching. I get hooked on it. And it just shows me how many crazies there are. How dangerous it is to be a 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old boy or girl in this world. There are so many monsters.
I heard the judge has to accept his deal. I hope the judge says no. I heard there is no deal yet.
Okay, the deal's in place. The deal's in place. Does the judge have to accept the deal? No, he don't. But it's very, very uncommon for a judge not to accept the deal. There have been judges that have denied deals. There has been. It's fact. You can look it up. But I would say 98% of the time when the prosecution goes and makes these deals, the judge already knows about it. And the deal is going to go through. You look at what Brian Kohlberger just done. Okay. He just brutally murdered 4 innocent people, smart kids. I mean, had bright futures, well-educated kids. And what he did was just completely senseless. It don't even make good sense. Right? Like, you know, it wasn't a robbery. It wasn't sexual in nature. Some people would say it is. I say all serial killers. A lot of people don't think he's a serial killer. I still to this day think he's a serial killer. It's they get their kicks by hurting people. And then they go home and, you know, I don't want to say what they do, but then they imagine it while they doing things with themselves. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep it PG just in case you got the kids around. And so all of it to me is sexual in nature, even though he didn't SA any of the people at the scene of the crime. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that. It's the fantasy that he's living in his head, and he's going home and, let's just say, pleasing by itself. You know what I'm saying? And thinking of that type of stuff while he's doing that horrible, nasty shit, right? So I believe all that is of that nature, but look what they did to him. They gave him a deal. They took the death penalty off the table. Everything he wanted, they gave him. Brian Kohlberger, right? Like, the camera can't be close to me. I want the court moved. Everything he asked for, they basically gave him all the way up until he took a deal. You and I would have gave him as a prosecutor. I wouldn't have gave him nothing. I'd have told him, hey, yeah, I got a deal for you. We're going to make sure you get to the death penalty quicker than you would have. All right. I don't know what's going on with these states making these deals with these monsters. You know, look, Jen Soto's walking free. Stephan Sterns going to live his best life eating Twix bars and ramen noodles. Okay. Making swoles and watching TV and probably get a girlfriend while he's in there. Because it's crazy. I don't know how these people do it. They go to prison like Wade Wilson. You got women sending them money, right? He's living his best life, got 30 fucking girlfriends on the outside. Leilani Simon, right? She was chunky as a monkey. She gained 30 damn pounds in jail. Dudes are sending her money, telling me I can't wait you get out. But she ain't never getting out, okay? But some dudes are so desperate, and some women, not just dudes. I mean, women throwing themselves at a dude that's never getting out of prison. Like paying for his canteen and his phone call. Because you don't get to use the phone free. Somebody has to pay for that. Right? So these women are like, and the dude's got his face tattooed up and he's strangling women. And women are like, oh, that's sexy. Like, I just don't understand what's going on in people's heads. Like, oh my God. It's like common sense ain't so common. Right? I thought I was crazy. And I always tell people that I'm crazy as shit. Usually when people tell you they ain't crazy, they lying to you. Dolly tell you I'm crazy, but I'm the good kind of crazy. I'm the kind of crazy you don't want to, you know, I might say something stupid, you know, probably don't want to take me around your family crazy, but I wouldn't hurt nobody crazy, right? And I think I'm crazy. So imagine how crazy these people have to be to think it's okay to want to be with some killer. Listen, woman, if Wade Wilson got out of jail today, he would strangle your ass, okay? If you was to have a kid with Leilani, she'd probably sling it in the dumpster. I don't know what these people are smoking. Okay, so what he's going to get to jail, get him a girlfriend. He may marry some woman in prison, get conjugal visits. Or he married Jen. Jen has never denounced a man. Okay, she may be still sending him money to the jail. We don't know, right? That ain't justice. Where's the justice for these people at? Where's the justice for these kids? It's absolutely horrible. And thank you, Becky. Okay, thank you so much, guys. I'm not going to be here super long with you guys tonight because I promised PJ I'd kick back and watch a movie with her, but I may come back late night. Okay. And okay, I'm going to move on a little bit because I've been talking about that monster for like 40 minutes now. Okay. I want to tap in on Jack and Lily Sullivan. Okay. Still missing. Still people out there pushing a narrative. Hold on, my producer just came in.
You just mentioned Wade Wilson, and I seen this morning that he OD'd on the F, and they moved him, and he's not in like a death row pod right now, so he's out like in a different facility just with the regulars.
So he's been in there doing drugs.
Pretty much.
Same thing he was doing when he was on the street.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There ain't no justice. Where's the justice for the women he strangled? Because he's crazy. No reason to even do it, and he did it. Right? Yeah. That's, you know, he would have did the world a favor leaving this planet. I hate to say that because you ain't supposed to wish that on anybody, but the monsters are different. I don't look at monsters like people. I just don't. These people are the boogeyman. And it makes it unsafe for me, my kid, your kid, to even walk the streets. And like I said, it's just purity disgusting. Any parent out here or any grandparent, this is their biggest fear in the world anytime their kids go anywhere. Right? Because my daughter's about to go somewhere. You know, I just went and seen her, gave her a kiss, told her to be safe. She need anything, you know, I'm right here. I'll jump on a plane quick as shit, right? Like this is our fear, right? Good parents or good grandparents or just good people. Our biggest fear are these people on the street. I want to be able to go to the store, you know, anytime I want and not get shot, stabbed, or robbed. All right. I don't want my kid being kidnapped. I don't want your kid being kidnapped. I don't want people essaying somebody because they just a creepy weirdo strung out on drugs, right? It's probably been one of my biggest fears. So, and that's just as a parent, okay? As a parent, you know, you think about the Holloway girl that goes on vacation, she vanishes. Like, and every time my kid goes somewhere, you know, I'm into true crime. So the first thing that goes through my mind is these cases of missing girls and kids, and it's just the first thing. I can't help it. Because I immerse myself in so much true crime that I know the world is full of these monsters, full of them. And if you don't believe it, like I said, get on YouTube and watch how many people in the ages that they're trying to get kids to meet up with kids. Your kids in this world are in so much danger that it is unreal. Okay. And I was telling PJ, I was like, you know, I like to hem up some people around here like that and, you know, maybe do a video with a couple of these YouTubers and bring them in. But I don't know. I always thought that was unsafe because you might catch that one person that's armed and be like, I'm killing everybody. You know what I'm saying? And you then you put yourself in a bad situation. So I don't really want to put myself in bad situations, but if I could, I would, right? I'm just thinking these people need to be off the streets. And these people on YouTube, even though YouTube is like taking their channels down and YouTube is kind of like giving them a hard time demonetizing them because they think they don't look at it the same way, you know? And I think it's a good thing to what these people are doing. I believe every person like that taken off the streets makes the streets just that much safer. And the police don't seem to be doing it, right? The police don't seem to, you know, they're so busy doing other things, they're overwhelmed. So it kind of goes into that whole citizens arrest thing. You know, once we got enough information on you, we turn it over to the police and get an arrest. And I don't see nothing wrong with that myself. You should do a collaboration with JXCon in Virginia. And that's what I was telling PJ. I was like, look, maybe I should collaborate with some of these YouTubers that are doing fighting for these kids, because I do so much fighting for kids, but in a different way, So, but I think of this, everyone that they knock down is one less kid that might go missing. Okay. So if we had more people out here doing this, now there's some people out there that are doing it, and they're doing it really trashy, and, like even assaulting people and all kinds of stuff. But if you keep it classy and just stick to, not trying to do anything horrible to people, but just highlighting what they're done, bringing it to the attention of authorities, alerting the authorities, and getting these arrests and getting these people off the streets, I look at that as nothing but a good thing. Now we got Jack and Lily Sullivan missing Nova Scotia. We got people pushing a narrative that the kids are alive. And, I watched a video today of Jack and Lily picking apples and eating apples. And from my understanding, it was being filmed by Jamie's boyfriend. And then when I realized, I was like, okay, this is a little weird. We don't know too much about Jamie's boyfriend. Saying we've been looking into everybody else, even Jamie herself.
This is part of the deal he turned from Maddie mother. I hope Florida judge says no. Florida doesn't play. Junior going tomorrow. Let's pray.
Yes. Okay, Peggy. Florida, I hope Florida, his deal is to turn in Jen. I don't think so, because they offered Jen a deal to testify against him. Why would they go give him a deal to turn Jen in? You know what I'm saying? I just don't know if that's going to happen, Peggy. I'll be honest with you. I think Jen is going to walk, and Stephan Sterns is going to do life in prison. Even though I can live with the fact that he lives if she would go to jail, if they would both go to jail. I just can't live with the fact that he's going to live and she ain't going to jail. If they just both went to jail for life, I probably could be good with that, right? Because it was both of them, in my opinion. That don't mean it's fact. Don't mean it's fact at all. It just means it's my opinion that this lady is a horrible, horrible monster. And I hope you have nightmares every day for the rest of your life. I hope you wake up and screaming and sweating and scratching at the walls. Okay. I hope them demons you battle are kicking your ass every single day that you take breath. And that's all I can wish for, right? That's all. I mean, what can we do? I can't punish her, you know what I'm saying? But I can just hope that karma comes and bites you in the ass every single day that you try to walk around this earth, right? I hope bad luck haunts you. I hope it rains on you on a sunny day. It's just, I can't get past it. And okay, I don't want to get too squirrely because I'm jumping around a lot. And then we got these people that know good and damn well what happened to Jack and Lily, right? And they just out here living their best life. Oh, damn Casey Anthony, Malaya, right? You got damn Chris Watts, Daniel. You got TikTok Tony Durwood. You got Janie got a gun and a boyfriend that we don't know too much about. And we know she has a rake and possibly a shovel. All right. And these kids are missing. And the day before these kids go missing, you're seen with a shovel. Okay. Or a rake. I don't give a damn if you were seen with a big spoon. It ain't good the day before two kids go missing. And then, the lies that they're telling. Listen, I would almost think that Malaya didn't have nothing to do with this if it wasn't for her behavior. Okay. Because I would go, Daniel's family knows what happened to this kid. And they may have done something and they're covering it up, helping Daniel cover this up because of the pink blanket and the four-wheeler and the ATV trail and the boot prints and the Janie saying she was at the pipeline. I would almost think it's just them. But no mother in the world would act like Malaya that didn't have something to do with it, right? Any other mother would be going crazy, and she's not. So it seems like, well, Malaya got to have something to do with it, right? And these people got something to do with it. They all got something to do with it. And usually when people are involved in a crime together, they usually don't splinter off like that. They usually all tell the same bullshit story, scripted story, and they pretty much have. But Daniel's side has changed the story. They flipped the script. Apparently they didn't like the first script that they wrote, and now they changed it. But none of them tell the same story. Daniel and Durwood say Malaya was at the street. Okay. Janie says she was out in front of her RV, nowhere near the street. Right. We looked at the video. Right. We looked at the video, and Malaya was nowhere near the street. Her time frames don't add up. Right. Janie is lying. I hate to be mean to an older woman. Right. Because, you know, dudes being mean and to women, it's just assholish. But I truly feel like she's lying. I mean, and if she's lying, she's not a good person. And if you ain't a good person in this world, I ain't got to be nice to you. There ain't no rules that say if you were just a badass old lady, I got to treat you like you're a respectable woman. Right? I don't got to. Right? Even though the producer might come stab me with a fork. That's how I feel. Right? Like, if you trash, you trash. I eyeball you up, throw you away. That's just how I feel about it. Right? I feel like these kids were around not the best people. That's my opinion. Right? That is my opinion, and people don't have to agree with it. I'm trying to push my opinion on anybody, but I got a microphone and I get to sit up here on YouTube and talk, and I share my feelings. Right? I like to get things on my chest, and that's just how I feel. I'm like, okay, look. We seen how clean the yard was when they did the news interview, right? Remember the news interview Jane just did? Yard clean as hell. Why wasn't that yard clean like that when them kids were there? Why these kids gotta go missing for y'all clean something up or do something? Y'all done WD-40'd the door. yeah. I just didn't buy it. And in the anger, right? Like, where are the tears? Right? Why did this woman come off so hateful and so angry instead of being concerned? Right? Where was the concern? It was more angry, more defensive than anything. Like, when I watched her, I just seen her going, the reason I did this is because people on YouTube are doing, listen, I wouldn't be worrying about what people on YouTube are doing. I wouldn't. If my dog was missing, I wouldn't be worried about what people on fucking YouTube were doing. I'd be worried about my dog. Right? I'd be like, I gotta find my dog. I ain't got time for that shit. Right? But they do. They sit around daily in these Facebook groups and have private messages with people, trying to build an alliance. Right? And I try to preach to YouTubers. Nobody listens to Dolly. They don't. I try to tell people all the time, don't befriend these people. Don't do it. Not until it's over. And we know for a fact that you got nothing to do with it. Then you can be your friend. We can go, me and Durwood can go fishing. You know what I'm saying? But until this shit is over, you ain't my friend. You ain't my buddy. We ain't roasting marshmallows together. We ain't even playing Fortnite together. We ain't playing video games, PS5, nothing, right? You are a suspect in the disappearance of these kids. You ain't my friend. You are not my buddy. And these people that are getting in these groups with them, and I mean, I know what they're thinking. Dolly, we ain't their friend either. We're just trying to hustle them for information. I get it. But there should be complete transparency in the disappearance of these kids. And there's some people that are making that transparency a little bit harder. Okay? Right? You're not my friend. Okay. They're making it hard, making these groups private, and they're slowly trying to kick out all the spies. Why? What is there to hide? Okay. What is there to hide? If you're trying to hide things and there's things that the public can't hear, it's either because you're shit talking people or you're doing things you shouldn't be doing. And that should never happen in a missing kids case, not in a million years, right? Her concern was for Daniel. You're absolutely right, Penny. You're absolutely right. From Kingsport. Are you from Kingsport? Do you Penny from Kingsport? Yeah. Her whole thing was anger. Her whole interview was defensive. You know, in my heart, I feel like, well, listen, your heart can be fooled, right? I thought I was going to marry the first girl I dated in high school. Didn't happen. Okay. You can't believe your heart. That should lie to you every time. You know what I'm saying? I think there's something to it. There's something to Justin and Jenny's boyfriend. And now, you know, Dolly, now I got to dig into her boyfriend because I just found some things I've seen a little bit strange. You know, like how long has she been dating this guy? How long has he been around the kids? Like, is he an old creepy guy? You know, a lot of them people sound the same. He sound like Durwood in the damn video. I'm like, oh, all these people sound like Durwood. I guess it's just the Canadian accent, but everybody's a suspect until there's answers to where Jack and Lily's at. You know, all of them. So, yeah, yes, say it loud. What happened? An arrest? Man, if there had been an arrest, you'd see me jumping for joy. I'd be doing my best damn Canadian dance. I don't know what kind of dancing they do in Canada, but I would be doing it. Okay. So I don't know what's up with all these Canadian geese. I guess they're getting word that Dolly's been covering Jack and Lily. So me and PJ go out and watch the fight last night. That's why I didn't come live with you guys last night. Me and PJ went and seen Dustin Poirier fight Max Holloway. We didn't watch it live. We watched it live on pay-per-view, but we went out to watch it. So when I pull up, of course, there's the geese. They're eyeballing me, right? I'm like, okay, the geese are eyeballing me. And I'm talking to them, just trying to be funny because I'm an idiot. And, you know, I tell them, I walk past them, look, I ain't signing no autographs tonight. Y'all back up. You know what I'm saying? And me and PJ go into like Hooters. So when I come out, they literally have my car blocked in. No shit. They all laid down behind the back of my car. So there was like a whole flock of geese. And the only car they had blocked in was me. Okay. I'm telling you, they know something. They know something, right? So the good thing is the car in front of me pulled out, and then I pulled out behind them. So they thought they were slick and were going to block me in. But little did they know that the person in front of me left at the same time as me, and I just pulled out behind them because they had the back of the car blocked. I mean, completely blocked off, like 50 of them, right? And I'm thinking, okay, it's getting real here. It's a real situation going on right now. You hate birds, they freak you out. I ain't got no problem with birds, right? But them geese, they're kind of mean, and PJ, am I lying? Ask PJ. PJ, did they have me blocked in last night? I mean, laying down behind the car, like just in rows. Right? Like the whole flock. And I was just like, okay, this getting a little weird. It's getting a little weird because there's been a multiple nights that the geese have been trying to get me.
That's because you walked up to them all aggressive like when we first walked in. But I definitely didn't expect them to be surrounding your vehicle like they were about to attack you. That was weird. I
know, right? Like what did the geese in Canada got a problem with me for? I mean, maybe they got a little offensive when I told them I wasn't signing no autographs. I was like, look, I ain't signing no autographs tonight and shit when I was walking by them. And then I guess that pissed them off. And they were like, all right, well, you ain't leaving then. You know what I'm saying? You stuck here with us, right? And I'm like, Dolly done pissed off the geese. Yeah. You know, and I hope I piss a lot of people off because I don't care if I make them mad. I want answers for where these children are at. Okay. And I want the RCMP to do their damn jobs. It don't seem to be that hard, but it seems to be hard for them. You know, there's enough that they could have made the arrest 30 times in this case. Lying to the authorities. Constantly lying, right? Constantly on the internet lying. Child neglect. Child abuse. There's pictures of Jack with black eyes. Right? There shouldn't be no pictures out there of no little tiny boy with black eyes. I can understand as a boy having bruises on you, right? The only time I ever had black eyes was when somebody punched me in the damn face. So, and that was a lot. But it shouldn't happen to small kids. The small kid boys shouldn't be walking around with bruises all over their face. And you know, you might be able to say, oh, well, I walked into a doorknob once, but you didn't walk into a doorknob every day, you know, and we're hearing rumors that, you know, Daniel has been accused of abuse. We're hearing that he's been accused of being Methodist. Okay. And I ain't talking about the religion. And we know usually people that are on drugs are abusive towards kids. And it's just same with alcoholics and stuff like that. There's probably 100 people in this room right now that had an alcoholic daddy or a mother that would abuse them as a child. And it's triggering to people, right? I ain't even going to ask you because I don't want to bring it out of you. But I guarantee there's people in here that know what I'm talking about. You go home and your parents are on drugs and you're the cause of everything in their life that goes bad. It's horrible, and what it does is it F's people up for life. You know, for life. They carry these scars for the rest of their life. Kids don't forget; they're like sponges, right? Us as human beings, how do we know so much stuff, right? Because we learn from the experiences in our life. We suck up everything around us, and we learn from it. Even when you're grown, you don't forget those things that happened to you when you was a kid. 1.3 in the chat and only 715 likes. What? Okay, I'm rage quitting. I couldn't stay late with you guys anyway. Keep spreading the message of Jack and Lily. Let's get justice for these kids. Let's pray to God tomorrow. I will be live to cover this, that the judge says hell no to his deal. And Stephan Sterns gets the death penalty. And I can still go to Florida. I doubt that'll happen. I'm almost 98.9% sure that the judge is going to accept this deal tomorrow, which absolutely disgusts me. Like, judge, if you, for some reason, a miracle, you watch this video, I pray to God you don't got kids, right? I pray to God nothing ever happens to your family like this, to let this man do this and walk free. Well, not free, but I mean, he'd go to prison, but to live his life, even that life, it ain't justice. And I thought people became judges to administer justice, not to let a monster live. So let's pray to God this judge has a good heart and he's a good human being and he don't want to see other things like this happen. And he tells the prosecutor, hell no, he's going to stand trial and let the jury decide if he's guilty. Because there ain't a jury in the world that's letting this man walk. Okay. And I just want to see justice. That's it. And I know every last person in here wants to see that same justice. We don't want these people walking away. And whoever's responsible for Jack and Lily, your time is coming. Them walls are closing in on you too. And, you know, just when you think, hey, we're getting away with this, something will happen. Something, whatever happens in the dark always comes to light. Sometimes it takes years, though. Years. I'm impatient. I want these people in jail ASAP. And Canada, you have to put the heat on the RCMP. Wait, did I say it right? RCMP? Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Yeah, okay. You got to do your part, Canada. You got to raise hell, right? Listen, this squeaky wheel gets the oil. So raise some hell. Start hitting up their Facebook page, demanding answers. The more people are on their back, the more they're going to do to get you off their back. So I'm going to go kick back, watch a movie. I may be back with you guys later tonight, but I promised PJ I wouldn't be up here but an hour. and I've already been an hour, 6 minutes. So you guys stay safe till I get back later tonight. Keep spreading the message of Jack and Lily. Don't believe this shit that they're out here pushing, right? Because they want you to believe that. They want you to believe these kids are alive. Why? To take the heat off themselves. That's just my opinion. You guys stay safe, and just remember, make sure you check out buydollysoap.com. Okay? Get you some soap, wash your ass cracks and titty flaps. Best soap in the world. Me and PJ, I want to make one more announcement. If you were waiting on any shirts, the autograph shirts, or bought a t-shirt or some soap, it all went out tonight. All right. We were in there I was printing shirts earlier. PJ was packaging them, shipping them. So if you're waiting on the auction shirts, they're all packed up, shipped out. If you're waiting on any t-shirts, they're shipped out, lotions. So definitely check out buydollysoap.com. We still got some really good stuff in stock. Okay. I mean, like Love Spell. We got men's soaps, lotions. We ain't got much lotion or body wash left, but we got a lot of bar soap left. So make sure you check it out. And I'm telling you, once you use Dolly soap, you're going to be sold for the rest of your life. You're going to be like, man, this shit's just too damn good. And remember, if nobody else loves you, Dolly does. Peace.